Two people, same IQ, same education, same opportunities. Yet one thrives and the other struggles. What makes the difference? The answer might surprise you. Psychologist Daniel Goleman changed the world of psychology in 1995 with one big idea. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, predicts success better than IQ in most areas of life. Emotional intelligence has 5 core pillars: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Think of them as the 5 superpowers of emotionally intelligent people. Self-awareness is the ability to recognize your own emotions, moods, and how they affect your thoughts and behavior. It's like having an inner GPS that tells you exactly where you are emotionally. People with high self-awareness catch themselves before reacting impulsively. They notice, I'm feeling defensive right now, and that pause, that's where the magic happens. Self-regulation is your ability to manage disruptive emotions and impulses. It doesn't mean suppressing feelings, it means choosing how you respond to them. When emotions overwhelm logic, psychologists call it an amygdala hijack. Your emotional brain takes the wheel. Self-regulation is essentially training your rational mind to take back control. Intrinsic motivation, being driven by internal passion rather than external rewards, is a hallmark of emotionally intelligent people. They persist even when things get hard. Psychologist Angela Duckworth calls this grit, the combination of passion and perseverance. People with high EQ reframe failure as feedback, not a stop sign. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It's not about fixing someone's problems, it's about making them feel genuinely seen and heard. There are 2 types of empathy: cognitive empathy, understanding someone's perspective intellectually, and affective empathy, actually feeling what they feel. The most emotionally intelligent people balance both. Research by the Center for Creative Leadership found that empathy in managers is directly tied to higher team performance, lower turnover, and better well-being. Empathy isn't soft, it's strategic. Social skills are how we manage relationships, inspire others, and navigate social networks. Emotionally intelligent people build networks of trust, and those networks become their greatest asset. One of the most visible social skills is conflict resolution. Emotionally intelligent people don't avoid conflict, they transform it. They turn an argument into a conversation. Studies show that 90% of top performers score high on emotional intelligence. Meanwhile, only 20% of bottom performers do. EQ accounts for 58% of job performance across all industries. According to Harvard Business Review, leaders with high emotional intelligence create psychologically safe environments where people speak up, take risks, and innovate freely. Neuroscience confirms it. Emotional intelligence literally rewires the brain. The prefrontal cortex, your rational thinking center, grows stronger connections with the emotional limbic system through EQ practices. Here's something most people don't know. Emotional intelligence is directly linked to physical health. High EQ reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, and boosts immune function. John Gottman's research shows that emotional intelligence, specifically the ability to recognize and respond to a partner's feelings, predicts relationship satisfaction with over 90% accuracy. Emotionally intelligent parents raise emotionally intelligent children. When parents validate feelings rather than dismiss them, children develop stronger emotional regulation and social competence. Emotional intelligence transcends cultural boundaries. While the expression of emotions varies by culture, the capacity to recognize, regulate, and respond to emotions is universal to human experience. Here's the great news. Unlike IQ, which is relatively fixed, emotional intelligence can be significantly developed and improved at any age. The brain's neuroplasticity makes lifelong EQ growth possible. Emotional intelligence shines brightest under pressure. Before a high-stakes presentation, an emotionally intelligent person reframes anxiety as excitement, centers their breathing, and accesses their best self. Emotional journaling, specifically writing about your feelings and reactions, activates the brain's language centers in ways that literally cool down the emotional brain. It's neuroscience you can do with a pen. High EQ people use a constant feedback loop. They notice an emotion, name it precisely, choose their response consciously, observe the outcome, and fold the learning back in. This loop runs automatically with practice. Psychologist Lisa Feldman Barrett's research shows that people who can name emotions with granularity, not just angry, but frustrated, slighted, or indignant, regulate those emotions far more effectively. Emotional intelligence shines brightest under pressure. Before a high-stakes presentation, an emotionally intelligent person reframes anxiety as excitement, centers their breathing, and accesses their best self. The cost of low emotional intelligence is enormous. Studies estimate that poor emotional management costs organizations billions annually in turnover, absenteeism, and lost productivity. For individuals, the cost is measured in missed opportunities and damaged relationships. Talent Smart research found that every point increase in emotional intelligence adds an average of $1,300 to annual salary. Over a career, high EQ can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars more in earnings. Let's recap. Self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. These 5 pillars aren't personality traits you're born with. They're skills you can practice, strengthen, and master. Here's a critical insight for the future. Artificial intelligence can replicate IQ tasks at massive scale, but emotional intelligence remains uniquely human. Empathy, nuance, relational trust, AI cannot replicate these. Practical strategy 1, the pause. Before responding to any emotionally charged situation, count to 10. This simple act gives your prefrontal cortex time to override your amygdala's reactive impulse. Strategy 2, name it to tame it. Research by Matthew Lieberman shows that simply labeling an emotion in words reduces its intensity in the brain by activating language processing over emotional processing. Strategy 3, practice active listening. Most people listen to, respond, not to understand. Active listening means giving your full attention, reflecting back what you've heard, and asking questions to deepen understanding. Strategy 4, empathy mapping. This technique, originally from design thinking, trains you to view any situation through another person's complete experience, thoughts, feelings, words, and behaviors. Strategy 5, build your emotional regulation toolkit. Box breathing, body scan check-ins, cognitive reframing, taking a time out, and critically, self-compassion. These tools work synergistically. Psychologist Kristen Neff's research shows that self-compassion, treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend, dramatically improves emotional resilience and reduces self-criticism's crippling effects. Emotional intelligence is the backbone of resilience. High EQ individuals don't experience fewer setbacks. They recover faster, adapt more flexibly, and extract more learning from every failure. Psychologists recommend stress inoculation, deliberately practicing emotional regulation under mild to moderate pressure as a way to build the neural pathways needed for high-stakes situations. Emotional intelligence unlocks creative thinking when we feel psychologically safe, which EQ creates the brain's default mode network activates, enabling the associative thinking that drives innovation and creative problem solving. Emotional intelligence is a protective factor for mental health. Higher EQ is associated with lower rates of depression, anxiety, and burnout, not because high EQ people avoid hard emotions, but because they process them rather than suppress them. A critical caveat: emotional intelligence can be used manipulatively. Psychologists call this dark EQ. True emotional intelligence must be paired with strong ethical values and genuine care for others. Otherwise, it becomes a tool of manipulation. You can measure your emotional intelligence. Validated tools like the EQI2 or the Mayer-Salovey-Caruso Emotional Intelligence Test, the MSCEIT, provide accurate profiles. What gets measured gets improved. Organizations with high collective emotional intelligence, where EQ is modeled, taught, and rewarded from leadership down, outperform competitors on virtually every business metric: profitability, retention, innovation, and customer satisfaction. Emotional intelligence and cultural intelligence go hand in hand. Culturally intelligent people suspend assumptions, read contextual cues, and adapt their emotional expression and interpretation across cultural boundaries. Remote work poses a unique challenge for emotional intelligence. We lose 70% of nonverbal cues through a screen. High EQ remote workers compensate with intentional connection rituals, checking in emotionally, not just transactionally. Burnout is often the result of ignored emotional signals. Emotionally intelligent people recognize early burnout warning signs, numbness, cynicism, exhaustion, and respond proactively rather than pushing through until they break. Organizations with high collective emotional intelligence, where EQ is modeled, taught, and rewarded from leadership down, outperform competitors on virtually every business metric: profitability, retention, innovation, and customer satisfaction. Throughout history, the people we most admire, great leaders, innovators, connectors, share a common thread: extraordinary emotional intelligence paired with their domain expertise. EQ amplified everything they achieved. Here's your invitation to begin. Right now, ask yourself 3 questions. What emotion am I feeling in this moment? Where do I feel it in my body? And what does it need from me? These 3 questions are where EQ begins. EQ is built in small daily practices, not giant leaps. A 2-minute morning emotional check-in, a deliberate pause before reacting, 1 genuine empathic conversation per day, an evening reflection on how you showed up emotionally. Small, consistent, powerful. The science of emotional intelligence is expanding rapidly. Wearable biofeedback technology, real-time EQ coaching, and neuroimaging are revealing ever deeper insights into how we can measure, build, and leverage emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence isn't a soft skill, it is the fundamental human skill. When you develop your EQ, you don't just become more successful at work, you become more alive, more connected, and more fully yourself. Your next step: take the free EQ self-assessment linked in the description below. Share 1 insight from this video with someone you care about. And subscribe for weekly evidence-based psychology that helps you live and lead at your best.